Hello and welcome back to RC Icons. Yes, this is a voiceover. I lost my audio in the first two clips of this video, and I really didn't feel like putting everything back in boxes and shooting the video again. So unfortunately, the first 2/3 of this video is going to be like an old Kung Fu theater movie where my words don't match my mouth. Hopefully that's all right with you guys. So essentially what we have is two boxes that have come in. One is a buy box full of parts. The other one is a kit that has taken me 4 years to secure. Now I've seen the kit come up here and there over the past few years. In fact, Taiwan Kenny offered me one 4 years ago that I turned down. And like most kits I turn down, I have a tendency to fall in love with them later in life. Meaning 2 weeks after I say I don't want it and the person has sold the kit, I realize I really want it, and by then it's too late. So this one I turned down 4 years ago, and it's taken me that long to finally find one for a decent price. You do see them from time to time. It's a manufacturer I don't have, which should be exciting for you guys because it's a new one, and they only did one car that I know of. They did do the same chassis with the same name. Monogram did a version, and I believe Adam at Adam's Playground has one. So yeah, that'll be a little bit different for you guys to see. So the buy box is just random parts. I think I let the storage get to about 4 days or so before I finally compiled it all and had it shipped to me. There is a couple of things in there for Jason at Jay's Quality Parts, and then the rest of it is mine. So as we bring the camera over and we start to get into the buy box, like I said, there's a couple things in there for Jason, and then there's just some random parts that I had ordered or came across, some of which are TRF parts that are extremely hard to find, and others are there's a motor ESC combo set from Tamia that I just couldn't pass up. So as the first package comes out of the box, we get it open, and this is a TRF 201 part that I don't think I've ever seen one for sale, to be honest. They're aluminum caster blocks, not caster blocks, but aluminum blocks for when you're using the rear aluminum uprights. They basically screw to the top of the aluminum upright, and your arm would essentially attach to that, your adjustable arm. Although I've never seen anyone use them on a car, I've never seen them fit to a car, it is a very hard part to find. So for me, it was worth paying whatever the $50 to have them. Most people just attach the arm to one of the screw holes on the top of the rear upright without having that particular block installed. I'm not sure if there's plastic ones in the kit or not, but yeah, I've never seen them before, so it was worth going after them. The second piece coming out of the box here is going to go either on one of my 501s or my 511. You saw a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago a Yaw Racing steering come in for a 501 that was silver. Well, I was able to pick up this one from 3 Racing, and it's done in the same Tamia blue anodizing. So it's a full steering setup for a TRF 501. It's the bridge and the 2 steering bell cranks, all ball bearinged. Don't know if they're any good. I would assume the 3 Racing stuff is based off of the 3 Racing parts that I use on my ZX5, but again, for me, it was worth having. I think it was like $32, so it wasn't horrible. And you can't find the Tamia ones anymore. They're just non-existent. So as we get into this next package, I believe this is a set of decals, TRF decals, sticker type C. Jason at Jay's Quality Parts needed some white and black TRF decals, so I told him I would send him a sheet of sticker type C. Although I am kind of a freak when it comes to my TRF decals, I have a huge collection of them. These are for sale on eBay for like $10. I ended up winning these for less than $3 on Buy. And when you throw them in a compiled box like that, really the shipping doesn't cost anything. The next item coming out is another set of decals. I really don't need them, but I just can't pass up original stuff like this when I see it. So this is a set of Upworks Nico Brat decals that would have been offered outside of the kit. I do have a couple of new unbox kits. If you're longtime followers of the show, you've seen them before. Both of my kits have the decals in them, but to see this set come up in a retail setting with the packaging, I couldn't resist it. So I think those ended up costing me like $12, so it wasn't horrible. It's like the second or third set I've seen sell in the last couple of months on Buy. The other ones never really caught the end of the auction. I was just too busy with other things, but this one I happened to be watching right at the end. Put the bid in and won. I think I was the only bidder. And like I said, it wasn't an insane price. It was actually fairly cheap. So to have those sitting in my decals collection, who knows, someday I might need them or somebody else might need them. So it was worth grabbing. And then I believe, let me think, the next piece coming out of the box, I believe, is it's the Tamia motor and ESC combo. You can pick this stuff up fairly reasonable. I believe this is the TBLE01 in a 10 turn. So it's the first brushless motor Tamia had offered. I bought it primarily for the packaging. When you see the box, it just looks so cool. So to have that like on display for me is really what it was about when I was looking at it. So I have a section in my display that's motors and ESCs, all vintage, brand new in-box stuff. And when I saw this one, I just couldn't pass it up. It did go a little bit higher than I would have liked. If I remember right, it was maybe $70 for the set, which isn't horrible. It's never been used. It's brand new, but and I'm not sure if I'll use it or not. But like I said, for me, it was more about the packaging and being able to put it on display. Just a super cool piece of history. Now, I know they're on a TBLE 04 for a brushless ESC at this point. I'm not sure if they're still doing the 02S brushless motors or not. But to have the 01 version for me was just worth it, like I said, to have in the collection. The ESC looks a lot better than what you would see in like the TBLE 02 and the TBLE 04. It looks more like a quality ESC versus the ones that you would get in the kits nowadays that run either brushed or brushless. So yeah, just a cool piece of vintage history. For Tamia, it was probably a big step to go to brushless. So to have that set up in the package like that as a combo kit was just something I couldn't resist. So yeah, happy to have it, and happy to have it on display when the time comes. For now, it'll just get put to the side with a lot of the Kyosho motors that have come in over the past 2 months. But at some point when the new studio is done, we'll get all this stuff on display properly. So super neat. And then I think the last piece we have in here is another part for Jay at Jay's Quality Parts. So he was looking for a set of replacement arms for a TRF 201 or a DN01. I had sent him my last set of arms when he was building the +8 that he had donated to the channel. So I essentially got those arms back on that car. I just picked up a set of 201 carbon reinforced arms, which were absolutely ridiculous. Price-wise, they sell over $100 now. This set here was like a buy it now of $50. It's the regular set that you would get in the kit, and Jay wanted a set as backup for his 201s, so I was able to secure those for him, which is cool because some of these parts you cannot find them anymore. Front bulkhead now for like a TRF 201 is going to run you over $100. One sold actually on Buy a couple of weeks ago, and it was literally, I think it was sold for $165 for one parts tree, and it just happened to be the front bulkhead. There's one on Buy now for like $94 with no bids. it'll be interesting to see what that one goes for. Probably the hardest parts tree to find for a TRF 201 would be the front bulkhead parts tree, and then gearbox cover would probably be number 2. Just insane how some of those parts for those cars you just cannot find anymore, and when you do, they're just crazy money. So yeah, this set of arms will be heading off to Jason with those decals, and then he can use or not use them, whatever he decides to do with them. Basically, it's his deal. So that's it. So as I clean up this box, we're gonna move over to the kit. The kit was an eBay buy. It was a seller on eBay that I've bought a few things from in the past. I believe the Tommy Intruder, my regular one, came from this seller, as well as the Nico Brat that I had gifted Jason at True Vintage RC also came from this seller. He's in Hong Kong. His store name is Godspeed, I believe. He's always got rare and interesting stuff on there, and then he's definitely willing to negotiate and get the deal done. So originally the kit was offered, and I had just happened to look at it, and then he had sent me an offer because I had watched it, and it was literally like 35% off. So I immediately bought it. I mean, he made it so that the price was so low that I couldn't refuse. I mean, it was literally less than like a Top Force Evo, and this is a manufacturer I don't have. It's a one car manufacturer from what I know. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you've ever heard of any other cars offered by this manufacturer. I'd love to know that. So if you do know, let me know. And then, like I said, this was offered to me from Taiwan Kenny 4 years ago. It was right. He had just offered me Nichimo Pegasus 443, and I bought the Pegasus new in box, and he's like, well, if you like that one, you might like this one. And I saw it, and I passed on it. And then one day I saw somebody doing either a video or what have you on the gearbox on this car, and it intrigued me so much that I was like, you know what, I have to have one of those. So it's a 2-wheel drive, chain driven, but the way that it's set up is just so unique. And again, this chassis was offered by Monogram as well, under the same name as this company, but it had a very different body on it. And the Monogram version, the body just doesn't do it for me. The body on this one is very aggressive looking and more in tune with kind of the time period. When you see some of the cars that are from the time period, they all have this same kind of look, like a Hot Shot or Gallop, or trying to think, even Gallop Mark II, not the regular Gallop, but yeah, it's got that real aggressive kind of squarish buggy looking body to it, and it just does it for me versus the other body that was offered by Monogram. So when I turn the kit around, you will see that it is a Bandai Mad Wolf. So this Mad Wolf was offered by Monogram, but it was a very different wing and body setup versus this one that was offered by Bandai, Bandai, and I had never seen another car offered by them. But as you look at this picture of the gearbox, you can see that the motor and gears are set in the middle to outdrives on either rear wheel that are running a jack shaft to a chain to a sprocket that's on the rear axle, or trailing arm. So just a very, very unique setup. I don't know of any other car that's set up like that. And it intrigued the hell out of me when I first saw it. And then after looking at the body and how aggressive it looked, I was like, you know what? I have to have one. And you'll see when I take the cover off this box, the presentation of the kit is really something else. It's for a one kit company, at least that's what I believe, they really did a really nice job with the presentation of the kit. So there's that jack shaft with the chain. Again, there's another picture of it there. So basically 2 trailing arms with jack shafts and chains coming back to a sprocket that's almost on the wheel itself, which is just cool. I'm not sure if these were robust at all or how they ran. I'd like to get another one so that I could build it, because I'm just probably not going to be able to bring myself to cut this thing apart. When you look at the presentation of the kit, it's just awesome. Blister packs on the left hand side, body placard and decals in the middle, and then the right hand side set up with your wheels and tires and all your hardware and everything. Just super cool. Characteristic of the time period though, and the kits that were offered back then. But I just think that some of the Nichimo ones and kits like this, like Bandai, these off brands that were just trying to get a foothold in the RC market back then, they really just took their time and laid out the kits in a way that was very attractive. And this is definitely one that, you know, screams vintage when you look at it. Super neat, super cool. Really excited that I was able to land this one for the price that I did. If I could find another one for the same price, I would buy it in a second. I know Jason at True Vintage has a new unbox kit as well. I'm not sure if he's going to build his or not, or what his plan is, but someday I'd like to find another one, just to be able to build this car, get my hands into that gearbox and see how it's put together. Worst case is I just build this one and I don't have one for my new unbox collection, which isn't the end of the world. But having 2 collections, it makes it hard sometimes, because I want to build it and I don't want to build it, right? So I'm 2 very different sides of the equation. Some people don't understand new unbox collectors, and they're like, these were meant to be built and they were meant to be driven, and I totally get it. But at the same time, there is something to be said for the presentation of some of these kits and the wow factor. And I'm basically creating a museum here, right, with my collection and the display. So to have the cars built is one thing, but to have them new unboxed as well is totally another. It's like walking into an old hobby shop and having these things on display, seeing what you would see for the first time as you walked in and a kit was presented to you, and it was all about the presentation sucking you in to get you to buy it, right? So that was all the marketing. Back then there was nothing online, nothing, you know, you didn't peruse kits like we do now in the comfort of our living room. It was presented to you in the store, and it was always going to be an impulse buy, because that was where you saw it. If it wasn't in a magazine, there was nothing offered anywhere else for you to be able to see this stuff, right? So you either saw it in a magazine, and then the first time you saw the kit was in the hobby shop. It had to be presented in a way where you impulsively wanted that kit and was going to spend that money right then and there at that moment. So obviously that's not cost effective nowadays, so the kits, re-rees, what have you, don't have that blister pack presentation, but that was the whole purpose of it back in the day, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, as we kind of peruse through the kit here, you can see the manual. Manual's in great shape. The kit itself appears to be in great shape. None of the blister packs are coming apart or anything. We've got, it's definitely a kind of a weird wheel design, but brand new wheels, and then the tires as well, just very different. Still soft, nice compound, but yeah, to see these old only tread pattern style tires, like I've never seen that tire before offered by anybody else. So yeah, just in my book, just some of the coolest stuff is this one-off stuff like this, or monsters, Shipla monsters, or this is where I found out the shock oil leaked in the kit, so I threw the bottle of shock oil away, and then I actually took the rest of these parts out of their cellophane bags, cleaned them up and put them in Ziploc bags. Some of the parts are white and it was red shock oil, and I didn't want them to end up getting dyed. None of the oil got on anything important like the manual or anything. It was just on some of the random parts. So we're just going to get it cleaned up. It is what it is. So at this point, I'm trying to wipe the oil off the bag, but it's not really working. So I decided to just take the parts out of the bag because this wasn't really working, and put them in new Ziploc bags and put the kit back together. But I'm going to continue to fight to try to get the oil off, kind of wasting time, wasting your time. As we look at the box one more time, I forget what I'm looking at. I don't remember what it was I was trying to find on here. May have been a date, manufacturing date, but yeah, Bandai is the name of the company, and I believe the car came out, it was 1986 if I remember right. Trailing arm driven, two-wheel drive. So yeah, if you look at the picture, I just think the car itself looks cool as hell. It's got anti-sway bars on it. It's got it's got shocks in all four corners. Oil-filled shocks, obviously, because the oil is all over the kit. But yeah, I'm just trying to kill some time here as I finish this clip. Again, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here and why I'm looking at the box, but for some reason I'm looking at the box. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up this. I'm gonna get it cleaned up and I'll bring you in for a closing. Got it all cleaned up. Took the parts out of the original bags and put them in new Ziplocs. Hopefully I introduced you to a new manufacturer. I don't know. I've never seen another car done by Bandai, but this one has always intrigued me, and finally after 4 years we're able to get it in the collection. So super cool. Some point in the future I'd like to find another kit or a built car, because I really want to mess with that gearbox without destroying this kit. But trivial problems, right? It is what it is. At least we've got this one, and I'm very grateful to have it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, typical stuff. Till next time, we'll see you soon. Thanks.